What if I told you that within 1 hour, your entire life could completely change? Sounds exaggerated? Then keep listening, because you're about to discover something that could turn your world upside down, in the best possible way. Have you ever found yourself thinking, when will things finally work out for me? Will I ever have the money, the love, the healing, the opportunity I've been waiting for? And what if that one day is actually now? Yes, now. As you hear this voice, the universe is tuning in to your vibrational field. And it doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you are. So the real question is, are you ready to become the version of yourself that already has what you desire? Because this isn't magic. It's not empty positive thinking tossed into the wind. It's a real, proven process, experienced by thousands of people who decided to stop waiting and start manifesting. And the most powerful part, you don't need years, not even months. Just one decision, 1 hour, one shift in frequency. You're about to learn why your current reality is nothing more than a reflection of your internal state, and how to change that reflection almost instantly. But first, take a deep breath. Because from this moment forward, your life will never be the same. Why do some people seem to manifest everything with ease, while others keep trying and nothing ever happens? What do they know that you haven't discovered yet? The truth is simple. Manifestation doesn't happen because you want something badly. It happens when your energy silently screams, "This is already mine." And here's the secret no one talks about. You are not here to keep waiting, wishing, hoping. You are here to remember that you can already have, and be, everything you want. Do you believe you have to struggle hard to achieve something? Maybe that's exactly why it's taking so long. Pause for a moment and reflect. How many times did you think you weren't ready? How many times did you postpone because you believed you still needed more time, more money, more luck? But what if all you really needed was alignment? Aligning your vibration with the end, not with the journey. It's not about over-efforting. It's about acting like someone who's already arrived, not someone still lost along the way. Think of it this way. When you order something online, you don't check the tracking every 5 minutes. You know it's on the way. And the universe works the same way. But before anything else, let me ask you, are you ready to stop wishing and start receiving? And what if I told you that what separates you from the life of your dreams isn't time, or effort, or luck, it's your certainty? Think with me. Have you ever doubted whether you'd succeed, and then you didn't? And what about those times when you knew it was going to work, and it did? Coincidence? No. That has a name: certainty frequency. Certainty is like a GPS. You don't need to know the route. You just enter the destination and trust. The GPS doesn't ask if you're worthy of arriving. It simply follows your conviction. Now imagine, the universe works exactly the same way. It doesn't respond to your desire. It responds to your conviction. A mind that believes something will take time creates a long road. A mind that knows it already is opens invisible shortcuts. But here's the catch. Certainty isn't arrogance. Certainty is inner stillness. That quiet knowing that vibrates louder than any doubt. But how do I develop that kind of certainty? That is the right question. Now reflect. What if everything you've ever wanted is already here, just waiting for your certainty to reveal itself? And maybe, just maybe, you'll realize that what's been blocking you all this time isn't reality itself, but what you believe about it. Do you believe, or do you wait? Because there's a huge gap between those two states, and that gap might be the very thing keeping your manifestation away. Let me ask you, how many times have you wished for something with your whole heart, but deep down, felt like it wasn't meant for you? Maybe you even said affirmations, visualized, prayed, but a quiet voice inside you whispered, "What if it doesn't work?" That's where everything stalls. Because the universe doesn't listen to your requests. It listens to your vibrational identity. It responds to who you are, not what you say you want. If you act like someone who's still waiting, you'll keep waiting. If you think like someone who's still lacking, you'll keep lacking. But what if you started moving like someone who already has it? What if today you started making decisions like the version of you who's already living it? But what if I doubt without meaning to? Good question. Doubt will try to sneak in, it's part of the old program. But here's the key, you don't have to feed the doubt. You can notice it, and return to certainty. Doubt is like a cloud, it comes and goes. Certainty is the sky behind it, always present. You're about to understand why what you feel as true materializes, and why what you doubt slips through your fingers. But before that, tell me, today, are you dressing in the identity of what you're still waiting for? Or in the vibration of what already is? Do you still think manifestation is just woo-woo spiritual stuff? What if I told you science is finally proving what the ancient masters always knew? Let's talk about the brain. Studies show that when you feel certainty, the areas of your brain linked to fear begin to shut down, and the areas connected to trust, action, and focus light up like a beacon. You stop resisting, and start allowing. You know what activates this state even more? Emotional belief. That deep, visceral feeling that it already happened. That's why placebos work. The body believes, and begins to heal itself. Now stop and think. If the body can respond to a sugar pill simply because it believes, what do you think it would do if you truly believed in your power to create reality? And it's not just your body. It's your entire electromagnetic field. When you align emotionally with what you want, your frequency shifts, and the universe, like a quantum mirror, reflects that back to you. But do I need to understand all of this to manifest? No. But when you understand it, you stop doubting. And when you stop doubting, the flow begins. Emotion plus thought equals physical reality. That's not just a pretty phrase. That's energetic physics. That's neuroscience. That's vibration. And in the next step, you'll discover why manifestation is just like planting a seed, and how so many people are digging up their seeds every day, without even realizing it. But before that, answer this honestly. Seedling, are you cultivating faith, or feeding fear with logic? Have you ever planted something, and dug it up every day to see if it was growing? Of course not. Because you know, the plant grows in the invisible, before it appears in the visible. And manifestation works exactly the same way. When you plant a desire in the universe, with clarity and certainty, it begins to move. But you know what blocks the magic? White heavy check mark, constant checking. White heavy check mark, constant doubting. White heavy check mark saying, what if it doesn't work? Picture a gardener digging the same hole every day. That seed will never bloom. Not because it lacks power, but because it lacks trust. And now I ask you, seedling, are you watering your manifestation with faith, or suffocating it with anxiety? Between planting and harvesting, there is a sacred time, the time of the invisible. And in that time, you must trust. But how do I know if I'm trusting, or just being naive? The answer is in your body. When you trust, you feel light. When you doubt, you feel tension. Anxiety speeds up time in your mind, but delays the harvest in your energetic field. So, breathe. Let life bloom in its perfect timing. Your only task is to hold the vibration of someone who knows it's coming. In the next step, we'll talk about how to enter the perfect state to allow. The flow state. A state where the universe meets you without resistance, and everything simply flows. But before that, tell me, are you ready to stop digging and start trusting? Have you ever had that moment when everything felt easy, light, magical? When the ideas just came, the coincidences appeared, and things simply clicked. That has a name, the flow state. And that's when manifestation becomes its most powerful. But here's the question no one asks. Why do most people live outside of that state? Because they're trying to control everything. Or, doing the opposite, letting go too much and taking no action. The secret is right in the middle. Manifesting is like flying a kite. You can't hold on too tight, or let it go too loose. You need balance between action and surrender, intention and ease, direction and trust. So now, let me ask you honestly, have you been living in tense control? Or in apathy disguised as surrender? The universe dances with those who know how to follow the rhythm of their intuition. With those who take action, but with faith. With those who wait, but with active vibration, not emptiness. But how do I enter that state? Great question, and the answer is coming. But first, close your eyes for a moment. Feel your body. If you were absolutely certain that what you desire is already on its way. Sparkles, how would you breathe right now? Sparkles, how would you walk? Sparkles, how would you speak to the world? Dizzy, the flow begins there, in your internal state. And now, let's explore how you can train your mind, day after day, so that living in flow and manifesting quickly becomes something natural. But before that, ask yourself, are you flying with the wind of life? Or pulling the string so hard it snaps? And what if I told you your brain doesn't know the difference between what you're living and what you're imagining with real emotion? It's not magic. It's neuroscience. And it changes everything. Have you heard of neuroplasticity? It's the ability of your brain to reconnect, reprogram, and reinvent itself, like a garden that can be pruned, replanted, and made to bloom again. Now imagine, if every day you visualize your dream reality, if you feel it, breathe it, and behave like someone who already has what they desire, your brain starts to believe it's real. And when that happens, it begins sending signals to your body, your emotions, and your electromagnetic field, as if you were already living that reality. But what if I can't believe it right away? That's okay. Belief is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it gets. Start small. Repeat with emotion. Visualize with detail. And soon, your mind will start creating new pathways that lead straight to what you want. Brain studies show that athletes who only imagine training activate the same neurons as those who actually train. Now think about this. If that works for the body, why wouldn't it work for money, love, health, or opportunities? But first, let me ask you, are you waiting for proof to believe? Or are you ready to create a new truth until it becomes your reality? And what if what you're searching for wasn't in the future? What if everything you've been longing for already exists now, inside of you? This is the truth that changes everything. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. So pause for a moment and ask yourself, who would I be if I already had everything I want? How would I wake up? How would I speak? How would I see the world? Because the fastest manifestations don't come when you beg. They come when you embody. When you fully become the version of yourself who's already living it. And it's not about faking it until you make it. It's about remembering it until you vibrate it. When you know your name, you don't have to repeat it 1,000 times. You just know. And that quiet certainty is what changes everything. But how do I maintain that identity when reality isn't showing it yet? Because reality is a delayed mirror. It reflects who you were, not who you are choosing to be now. Change comes from the inside out. You feel first, then you see. You vibrate first, then you receive. But how do you protect that vibrational field? And why can sharing your dreams with the wrong people weaken your manifesting power? Did you know that not everyone deserves to hear what you're dreaming of? Not every ear is neutral. Not every presence uplifts. And in the process of manifestation, silence is one of your greatest protections. Now tell me, how many times have you shared an exciting plan and left the conversation feeling drained, unsure, carrying doubts that weren't even yours? That's not a coincidence. That's energy. When you're creating a new reality, your field is still sensitive. It's like a newborn sprout. It needs light, water, and protection. And what weakens it the most? Skull and crossbones, unsolicited opinions. Skull and crossbones, judgmental glances. Skull and crossbones, other people's doubts that infect your certainty. But what if I really want to tell someone? To share it? You can. But choose carefully. Speak to those who vibrate with you, not to those who look at you through filters of fear or scarcity. And remember, this is a sacred moment. A moment of pure connection between you and the universe. And the more intimate that connection is, the stronger your manifestation will be. Sparkle's mystery protects the miracle. Sparkle's silence strengthens the seed. Now let's understand why the universe doesn't respond to what you think, but to what you vibrate, and how that literally reorganizes the reality around you. But before that, take an honest look at yourself and ask, who has too much access to your energy? Is it time to close some doors, so greater ones can finally open? And what if I told you that the universe doesn't hear your words? It feels your frequency. You can say, I want. But if you're vibrating, I doubt, the universe responds to the vibration, not the intention. Think of your body as an antenna. Your heart, your thoughts, your emotions, they're all sending out signals. And those signals are real waves that shape your electromagnetic field. Science has already shown elevated emotions, like gratitude, certainty, and joy, change your brainwaves. And those waves act like a magnetic field, pulling in experiences that match your inner state. Now pause for a second and reflect. What have you been vibrating the most in the past few days? Fear or confidence? Scarcity or abundance? Desire or certainty? You don't need to convince the universe of anything. You just need to become the vibration of what you want to live. Reality reorganizes itself around your internal coherence. The more aligned you are within, the more synchronicities, opportunities, and pathways begin to open around you. But what if I've been fluctuating a lot? That's okay. We all do. But the key is to return. Return to the right frequency. Return to the vibration of the truth you want to live. Because this isn't logic. It's resonance. The universe dances to the rhythm you emit. So let's apply it right now. Not tomorrow. Not when the perfect day comes. The perfect day is today. The right moment is now. Let's see what happens when you start acting as if it were already real. But first, ask yourself with courage. Cyclone, if my life is a reflection of my vibration, what exactly have I been asking for, without realizing it? Will you just listen, or will you finally live? Because the greatest trap in manifestation is this: knowing everything, but applying nothing. You already know the path. You already understand how the universe responds to your vibration. You already know that doubt delays, and certainty accelerates. But now comes the turning point. Will you keep acting like someone who's still waiting, or like someone who already has it? Sparkles, this is the moment. Not later. Not someday. Now. Choose one desire. Close your eyes. Feel it, as if it were already real. And declare it with your heart. It's already mine. Not as just another phrase, but as a vibrational decree. An inner code. An undeniable truth. But what if nothing changes right now? The change has already begun. It starts in the invisible. It starts in your field. And if you continue your day vibrating as someone who already has it, the outer world will have no choice but to respond. Just don't go back to waiting mode. Don't say, I hope it happens. Say, I know it's already in motion. Now let's seal all of this with a decision. An energetic choice that will pull you out of stagnation and place you right into the field of real creation. But first, take a deep breath and feel. If you had already received it, how would you act right now? Then go. Act like it. And the universe will follow your lead. You didn't come into this world to wait. You're not here to watch life happen as a spectator. You're here to create. And maybe, just maybe, everything you've lived up until now was only the rehearsal, the quiet preparation for this moment, the moment when you stop doubting and begin to choose, with certainty, who you want to become. Because yes, you have that power. No matter what they told you, no matter what you've been through, from this moment on, you can change everything. But first, breathe deeply. Feel, in your body, the energy of someone who decides to leave behind the vibration of waiting, decides to break free from the prison of doubt, decides to exit survival mode and enter the field of conscious creation, the field where you don't beg, you vibrate, where you don't chase, you attract, where you don't just dream, you live the dream. But what if I slip? What if I forget? It's okay. You'll come back. Coming back is part of it. But what you can no longer do is abandon yourself. So repeat with me now, as a code to awaken your dormant power. Glowing star. I am the creator of my reality. I vibrate with confidence. I act with presence. I receive with gratitude. It's already mine. Glowing star. And remember, the universe is already responding. The only question is, sparkles, will you keep waiting? Or will you finally start living what was always yours? If this message awakens something in you, like, share, and drop in the comments. Dizzy, I choose to live what is mine. And always remember, you're not waiting for miracles. You are the miracle in motion.